What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jasper, and since fall is right around the corner, or maybe kind of here, depending on where you live, we're gonna make a very fall dinner. Yeah, it's gonna be good, and I'm doing something special with this video. Okay, so this is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need sage, chiffonade, or chopped, doesn't matter. Small leaves, big leaves, bacon, pepper, cream, butter, chicken stock, red peps, those things, onion, garlic, and butternut squash. I should add my roommate, Kevin, drew this. The squash's name is Billy. That doesn't matter. I didn't cut it up just for the beginning of this video. These things is zucchini and tomatoes, and they're just gonna go in the oven, which I have at 375. Okay, so oven, again, 375. It's been preheating for, honestly, probably like 30 minutes now. We're gonna take these, they're just coated in oil, salt, and pepper. And we're gonna put them in here for about, I don't know, 15 minutes. Jeez, just check them and just keep checking them until they're done. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna make, other than the stuff in the oven, is sage brown butter. So we're gonna take the butter in the large sage, oh my God, sage brown butter. So we're gonna take like about 4 tablespoons of butter because we don't want a lot because it's strong. And we're gonna take the butter, put it in here with the large sage leaves, and wait until the butter turns brown, hence brown butter. And then just take it off the stove. The reason why we take it off the stove is because we don't want it to burn. One, we don't want the butter to burn. So take it off the stove, take it out of a pan, put it into a bowl or something that isn't the pan. You know what I mean. Okay, so we are literally almost there. You'll start to smell, it'll smell like nutty almost. That sounds gross. Anyway, right about, not yet, hold on. Okay, it's all foamy, so you can't see it. But that's the color you want it to look like. Or maybe even a little darker, like dirt water or dehydrated urine. But I just cleaned out the pan, that's why this is on here. If you don't have a girlfriend, if you're not married, and you're all alone, we're gonna skip this step. Or you could do it, doesn't matter, your call. We're gonna fry sage leaves. Small sage leaves are gonna be garnished. The chiffonade sage leaves are gonna be tossed in with the pasta afterwards. So we're gonna take our olive oil and we're just gonna put enough in there. That looks good. And then we're gonna throw the leaves in there until they're crispy. Easy. If you find a way to mess this up, just stop here and just don't cook anything. I'm sorry, that was rude because it could be a little difficult. You don't wanna burn your oil. You wanna wait until it starts to shimmer. And then you're gonna throw your leaves in. Use tongs and then just kind of pick them out one by one, you know. And then the chiffonade, just strain it out and you're good to go. Okay, this should go without saying, but you are working with hot oil, so don't burn yourself. It will hurt and you'll get scars that look like that. It's not fun. Don't hurt yourself, please. Okay, in the biggest pan you have, or sauce pot, you can use a big pot like this, but I'm just gonna cook the spaghetti in there and I don't really care. Take some of the oil that you fried the sage in because it's already used and stuff and add it to the pan. And this is where we're gonna cook our bacon. So turn it on, that's stupid. Put it on medium and then put your bacon in. Don't let the pan get hot because it's gonna render the fat slower. It's gonna make the bacon taste better, just trust me. And you may be asking yourself, why did Jasper put oil in the pan before the bacon? Because isn't the bacon just gonna make a lot of grease? It is to just help it along. This is a vehicle to get the bacon moving, and it's gonna help it cook a little more evenly. So while the bacon cooks, we're gonna do a little recap. First, we made the sage brown butter. So it's butter in a pan, sage, let it brown until, it smells good. And then we fried our sage, and now we're doing the bacon, and then we're gonna cook our butternut squash, onion, garlic, and crushed red peps. Okay, so we're gonna take some of this oil out. Keep most of it, but we're just taking a little bit out, and then we're gonna put the butternut squash in there and let that cook for a little bit before adding everything else that's gonna go into the sauce. So we're gonna add our butternut squash. I'm doing little half batches because my pan isn't big enough. And when this starts to get a little soft, we're gonna add everything else into it. Everything that needs to go into it, we're gonna, not everything else. You know what I mean. Oh, and you know when I was talking about be careful with hot oil? Yeah, I just burned myself because I just kind of dumped it in the pan and it kind of split. That was a gross, sorry for you guys had to hear that. But yeah, I got in my hand. So this is what happens, you get burned. So I'm gonna make a split-second executive decision. When we add the onions and garlic to this, we're gonna turn our pasta water on because we're gonna add stock and let it reduce and blah, 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 blah. And by the time that's all done, your pasta should be done too. You know, timing. Yeah! Also, you might be asking yourself, Jasper, when do I add the other stuff? Right when these guys start to turn soft. So see how I can break through that easily? Whoa, getting foggy. That's when you add it. So we're gonna add it right now. So we're gonna cook this until the onions just start to turn translucent. And then we're gonna add our chicken stock or vegetable stock or whatever kind you wanna use. Other than, don't use fish stock, that'll taste bad. And let that reduce down by half. And if you do what I do and film an instructional video on how to make this, these will be done right when the butternut squash onions stuff, when all that is done, because that's what you want it to look like. Okay, so we added all the fun stuff. Now we're gonna add our chicken stock. And then we're just gonna let that reduce down by half. I should mention, turn the heat down to like a medium, low. No, I lied. Bring it up to a boil and then turn it down to medium, low. That's what you do. Our pasta water is not done boiling yet, but it'll get there eventually, maybe, hopefully someday. So I did the old switcheroony because this burner boils water quicker. Anyway, we're at a boil, so we're gonna turn her down to about medium, low. This is out, yeah. Anyway, reduce by half, so that means half of the liquid is gonna go away. It's gonna evaporate. Yeah. Okay, cooking pasta. I don't know how some people can't do it. People amaze me. Anyway, boil water, salt it, oil, put the pasta in, 7 to 8 minutes, strain it off, rinse it under cold water so it doesn't stick together. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Pasta pro tip alert, kind of spaghetti and fettuccine or any long pasta like that. Take it in your hand and just drop it in the middle of the pan so it all falls. It's like pickup sticks, kind of, instead of just one big clump falling to one side. And when you're cooking pasta or grains or beans even, always use a wooden utensil, because if you use metal or metal tongs, you're gonna break the pasta, and broken pieces, a small piece of pasta is gonna cook faster than a long piece of pasta. So this is what I mean when I say reducing. See that line? That's where the liquid started. Now, obviously cooking it down, letting it simmer, it's gonna evaporate. The liquid's gonna disappear, like how rain goes from the ground up to the clouds. So it's not quite to where we want it. It's almost there, like literally another 7 to 8 minutes. And when it reaches that point, I'm gonna put it in the blender and we're gonna blend it up. And don't worry about overcooking the butternut squash because it's gonna be blended anyway. It doesn't need to be al dente or whatever soft. I promise you guys we're almost done. All we have to do is blend this, put that in there with the cream, and then add everything else, the bacon, the vegetables, and toss it in the pasta, and then we're good and done and happy, and then we can finally eat because it's 9:30 now. I started this at 7. Okay, so blend it up, and then add your brown butter through the little hole here. Okay, the butter's not coming out. I'm gonna have to keep... Okay, that didn't work. Okay, added the butter, and now we're gonna slowly add about half... We're gonna start with a half a cup of cream and see where it gets us. You want to slowly add it in. Slowly, so that it doesn't cook the cream, you know, because it's so hot. Always taste and season, because at first it wasn't the best. I added a little, well, it tasted good, just wasn't enough. Added some salt, a little bit at a time, blended it up, tasted it again, added more salt, and now it's really good. And what I learned is add a little bit of salt at a time. Don't add as much as the recipe calls for, because maybe the butternut squash isn't sweet enough, the onions weren't sweet enough, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of factors. And just taste and season, go back and forth. Because you can always add more salt. You can't take salt away, and once it gets too salty, you've ruined it. It's not good, nobody wants that unless their taste buds are shot. But I can't go buy another butternut squash. Those things are not expensive, but you know what I mean. Okay, finishing touches. Put the pasta back in the pot, turn the heat on low. Pour your sauce back in. You're going to toss it with everything else, the bacon, the chopped sage, not that one, and all your vegetables, and it's going to taste freaking amazing. Okay, we're learning together, guys. That was way too much sauce. So what you can do, add a little bit at a time, toss it, add more if you need it. Yeah, it's swimming, but you know what? It's still going to taste good. And that's it, guys. There you go. Plate it. You're done. I got really fancy with the garnishes, but just eat it. Don't do what I do and take 2 hours to make it and then take like 45 pictures and let it get cold. Just eat it. Go.